I had a guy on here who I screwed up the recording of this episode, so we had to re-record. So our whole conversation, he owns a business. We like didn't talk about his business at all. We just talked about like veganism. We talked about mushrooms. We talked about all these different things that he was very interested in. And I saw him get like very passionate when I asked him about it. And then we just went on that tangent. Unfortunately, I messed up the recording. And then we redid the episode. We touched on those things a little bit, but we brought it
Are
back
you a
to
vegan?
business. I'm not, but he was, or he is. And he just had a lot of interesting information to share with me.
I love that.
And it was cool.
I like that too. I like remnants. And like I said, I couldn't even see myself meditating years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Dr. Joe Dispenza and I went on a retreat for a week.
Wow.
The early version of me over my dead body. am I going to meditate for a week? And when I was there, I was like, yeah, I like it.
What was that experience like? I've heard about those meditation retreats that he does, and they're pretty intense, right? Like
Yes.
it's days of meditation with
7
7 days straight.
7
How
days
many
straight.
like hours a day are you doing meditation?
You do it from like anywhere between 7 to lunch, like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Wow.
So you eat breakfast. So you could go in earlier before breakfast sometimes, or you go breakfast and then you meditate till lunch. Then he'll give you maybe an hour or a half hour, and then all the way till dinner, and then after dinner for like another 2 hours, 3 hours. One morning we started at 5, and then we didn't get out. It was like a 4-hour meditation. That's rare. So he had some breaks in between, and then nighttime sometimes till like 9, 10 o'clock.
Wow.
It was, but I also have been like I said, between like Tony Robbins, like I have a thirst for knowledge. I mean, I did everything from firewalking to jumping out of airplanes to, I went on a retreat to Nashville to do 100-foot firewalking after I did like a 10-foot thing with Tony Robbins kind of thing. I really just wanted to dive into the idea of that, where that literally mind over body, where you can get yourself in such a state that fire doesn't burn you. I just want to learn about it. I wasn't in the illusion that I could just do it, but how does it work? How do you do that? Or the idea of meditating so much that if you build up the energy in your body, you can touch someone and heal them. That's what you do. He does meditation healing for people who are sick. It's just, you wouldn't even understand it unless you're in that room, building up energy and meditating and learning to the point where you get out of your body and you tap into another level of energy outside of your body, and then use that energy for good. I've done classes with taxes. I met these guys who work for Aspire. It's like a business conference where they teach you about how to run a company, how to organize it. And I did all the classes, learning about taxes, 401k, how to like move your money and invest it. I just sat for weeks in classes to learn. And it's just thirst for knowledge, learning about things. And I would call it like graduate school. Some people can go have an education, or I could go learn how to, like, what my 401k is really doing, mm-hmm. and how to invest it myself, and what that means. But you need a full, 5 days of classes from morning till night. Awesome. I can't see the younger version of me ever doing that. I got out of architecture school and I was an artist before I got in there, and I haven't picked up a paintbrush since I was 19. So school for me was just kind of torture. But then I realized how to learn later with that patience and the energy and understanding my thirst for things to be able to be communicated to me in the right way. And all of that I've learned in the last 5 years.
Why is it that the younger you wouldn't have done that? What would have held the younger you back from doing it?
The younger person was held back. I found out later I had a learning disability. So when I was younger, in math, I was very good. So it got to the point where I was so good doing fractions and division when I was like young, in first and second grade. And then they would write things on the board and I would just know the answers. And the teachers would say, you're cheating. And then they would make me take a test by myself. And so I would write all the answers in 10 minutes and they'd be like, you're not doing it right. Show us how you got that. I'm like, I just look at it and I know the answer. And like, you're doing it wrong. So I sat there thinking I was always doing math wrong. They literally untaught.
Because you weren't able to
show
write the proof down.
Correct. And they didn't know how to teach me. And if someone had gotten into that room and said, hey, let's teach this girl more for that kind of brain, I would have been in a different position. So all these people were just telling me I was wrong and dumb. And so then...
But you were getting to the right answer.
And they took the right answer away from me. They said I was wrong because I failed because I couldn't show them how I got it. So I just was told since I was a child that I was not smart. And so I went through school in learning. We're talking about, I was in Queens and then like learning centers. It took me till 19 to understand how bad it was. So right now we're in a world with untimed SATs. I didn't know any of this existed. I was just sat and I just kind of gave up through high school, kind of tapped out, like I would go into class, understand something and then tap out, And so in that moment, and then I went to college and I was trying to go into pre-law and I was taking a class and I kept failing the test. And it was an adjunct lawyer. So the answer is the right teacher. The adjunct lawyer, I went to him after and I said, you don't understand. I know everything you told me to study. I don't understand your questions. And he was like, come to my office. He gave me the exam. Orally, I got a 97. But I had gotten a 56 on that test. His wife taught learning disability. He said, I'm going to set you up. He made a call. He called her, and they set me up for a real IQ test. Not like a full 5-hour IQ test. I had a learning disability and 140 IQ.
Wow.
So with the learning disability, I had 140 IQ, which I guess it doesn't matter at that point. They just tell you. So after that is when the first time in my life anyone ever told me I was smart. And I was 19.
Wow.
And that's when I decided to leave law and go to architecture because I was so good in math. So the IQ test helped me. And the people around me, the guiding took till I was 19. My entire life I had not been guided. And then they guided me towards architecture, and my mom and my dad. But my mom too. She was like, why are you trying to be a lawyer when you're better at math? And I was an artist. I used to do oil paint since I was 6 years old every Saturday for 3 hours. So, I loved art, and I was trying to be a lawyer. It didn't make sense. I had a portfolio from high school. Wow. So I moved to architecture school, and I graduated with a 3.89. So I got a tutor. Someone taught me how to speed read. So I wasn't reading well because I was never taught how to read correctly. So the person taught me how to speed read and then taught my eyes how to read for the speed of my brain. So I went from not reading to getting all A's in architecture school and then reading 4 books a week. And my whole life changed. And the confidence in my mind, and it took years.